Hey guys, how are you? David DeFranco here from daviddefranco.com/ask. Yes, it's been a while. That is your Q&A form for submitting questions for future videos such as this one. And today's question comes from Josh. So Josh asks something great, and honestly his question's kind of long, so I'm going to do my best to paraphrase it. Okay, so Josh says, "Hey David, I run a fairly popular Facebook page and website for my area in Northwest Georgia. Sometimes when I post about certain subjects, I get backlash by not word of mouth, but by simply unlikes of the page. For some reason, it makes me feel bad when people unlike my page. I have great fans and supporters, but seeing my progress backtrack on quite a few unlike my page over posts makes me feel like I did something wrong. I notice you get quite a few negative feedbacks." Oh yeah, I do. That's a story of my life lately. "How do you deal with it, and how can I co-op with mine?" I think I read that right. "So I can progress in the future. Thanks, Josh." And just as a reference, Josh's Facebook page that he manages is over at facebook.com/NorthwestGeorgiaWX, of course, which I'll link right below. So check it out. So Josh, you bring up an amazing question. How do you deal with negative feedback, especially on YouTube? Now, I have made this very clear in the past, but I'm going to say it again and again and again. I love YouTube as a platform. It has quite honestly changed my life for the better in a variety of ways. And trust me, I am extremely, extremely grateful for that. But YouTube is also one of the most negative websites on the internet if you're the kind of person who's positive thinking, positive spirited, and optimistic like I am, because I love remaining positive. Yes, I realize there are bad things that go on in this world, but there's no need to focus on that. I mean, I am all about trying to remain happy and trying to make others happy, and that's honestly the point of my YouTube channel. I'm always getting people thanking me privately via email saying, "David, thank you. Your videos honestly are helping me through a tough time." I'm not going to go into details, but believe me, I get some very personal emails. And just the fact that my videos have a positive impact on somebody's life, that's just awesome. That is just simply awesome. But with that said, unfortunately, there is a small portion of people that come along the way who feel the need to disrupt someone else's positivity. So finally getting into the topic, let me tell you a few ways of how I personally deal with negativity. And I just want to start out by saying this. There are two kinds of people in this world. Those who matter and those who do not matter. Yeah, I mean, that may seem a bit harsh, but I'm just speaking the truth. I am never afraid to speak my mind. And honestly, that's why I think I get a lot of negative feedback here and there, is because people don't like hearing the truth, or people don't like seeing others express their honesty through creativity and through the introduction of new websites and projects and campaigns, such as my Patreon campaign. Every time I mention Patreon, somebody out there despises me. And you know what? That's perfectly fine, because those are the kinds of people who don't matter in this community. We don't want them around dragging us down. I am the kind of person who continues to create content to please others. And those are the kinds of people you should be focusing on. I lose subscribers all the time, but I gain more than I lose. So that's the important part. And I'm pretty sure you gain more likes on Facebook than you lose. This goes for anybody on any kind of social media platform. But honestly, Josh, you really shouldn't concentrate on numbers too much. Because if you concentrate on numbers in terms of likes to comments ratio, and on YouTube, subscribers to views ratio, and Twitter, followers to retweets ratio, there is always a very, very large gap. For example, on YouTube, there are people with over 1 million subscribers, which is an incredible accomplishment. But their average video gets around 200,000 views, which is still a lot, but that's quite a small portion of that 1 million plus subscriber base. And the same goes for me. I have over 103,000 subscribers, of which, trust me, I'm incredibly grateful for. Email. But my average video gets between 7,000 and 15,000 views, which I'm happy with because I'm still reaching thousands of people on a daily basis. I mean, that's a lot of people. So getting back on track, I don't want to make this video about myself too much, but I just feel like I'm a good example of, well, the kind of person you might be. I'm just your average person trying to make it in this world, trying to please others, trying to create quality content. So if somebody is posting negative feedback, you have to ask yourself, is it good negative feedback, or is this person simply being an asshole? I mean, if it's good negative feedback, then consider what they're trying to communicate. Perhaps they actually have some good advice, but for whatever reason, they're incapable of sounding like a decent human being. They have to diss you, throw personal insults at you, and anything else that makes them feel like a better person. And if it is good negative feedback, then take that into consideration of how to improve your channel, how to improve your content. Because believe me, it happens all the time with me. People act nasty, they say, David, you suck, I'm unsubscribing, and blah, blah, blah. Whatever, those kinds of people, I don't want them in my life anyway. But then there are those people out there who actually have constructive criticism, and that is something you should never, ever ignore. A perfect example, people have been saying lately that, David, I want your content to improve. And you know what? I'm doing just that by starting out with creating 27 Squarespace tutorials in the form of screencasts. Yes, 27 tutorials. They have taken hours upon hours to finish, and by the time this video is live, the tutorials should be live as well. And that's just the beginning. I'm constantly looking for ways to improve my content, but it's also going to take you guys to tell me how to improve my content. Now, going back to negative feedback in general, if somebody is just straight up being negative and they're just an overall very bad, evil kind of person, I don't know the kind of adjective to use. A hater. There you go. Let's just call them haters. Ignore it. Block them. I mean, that's really all there is to it. Just block them and move on with your day, because I learned something a while ago and I still don't follow this advice here and there. You are not going to change the person's mind if they're being nasty to you. If somebody out there calls me a sellout and greedy, that means they don't personally know me as a person and they don't understand me as a person. There is no way in hell I'm going to change a person's mind who goes out of their way to call me greedy and a sellout, because I know deep down I am not any of those descriptions. So I block them, I remove their comment, and I move on. And honestly, if they really want to take that kind of argument with me personally, then they'll email me. If it's really that important, then they'll go out of their way to contact me directly, instead of just putting a public comment on YouTube in an effort to make themselves feel powerful. And finally, the last thing I want to say is, this is your domain. This is your YouTube channel, your Facebook page, your Twitter profile. You are always in full control of your content. Never, ever let anyone else tell you what to do or how to do it. Now, I like to use the following analogy, and I believe it relates pretty well, and that's your house, your apartment, wherever you live. Think of somebody coming into my house today and just walking around, judging my walls, judging my Mac setup, and saying, I don't like that. That sucks. Take that out. Sell that. You don't need it. What right does that person have to come into my house and tell me how to live, how to arrange my house, how to work with my Mac setup, what game consoles to use? And you know what? Saying all this out loud just sounds stupid, because nobody in their right mind has the right to tell you what to do, and again, how to do it. And finally, to close out this analogy, if you don't want somebody visiting your house, lock the door. In other words, block them on YouTube. Like I said earlier, that is probably the best thing to do, because you're not going to change that person's mindset. And just hope at some point in the future that said person will mature over time and have a broader view on life and not judge others. Because at the end of the day, if somebody is negatively judging you, then they're most likely unhappy with themselves. Think about it that way. I mean, there is no reason why you need to be judged if you're not doing anything wrong, if you're not hurting anyone. You're simply creating free quality content for others to enjoy. There's nothing wrong with that. And finally, one more thing, and then I promise I'll let you guys go. I just really enjoy this topic, and I enjoy helping others in need. Think of negative feedback or dislikes or whatever as views. People are taking time out of their day to give you attention. So ask yourself, who is really winning here? You are, the content creator. I mean, this other person could be doing something else with their time, but they're taking that moment out of their day to give you attention. And that's the way I look at it. Maybe it's pure jealousy, maybe it's pure hatred, but really, you don't need those kinds of people in your life. But at the same time, they're kind of helping you out by giving you views. So there's no real solution to this problem. It's always going to be this way. Even after I'm dead, there are still going to be haters in this world. There's always going to be negative feedback. And that's just the way the world works. My best advice, keep doing what you do, remain positive, and just ignore the people who don't matter in this world. Again, it's harsh advice, but it's the truth, and it works for me. I am immune to obstacles. I am immune to negative people. So in other words, there's no stopping me. I will always be here in this world trying to do what I enjoy best, and that's creating content. So Josh, I hope this helped. Of course, this video went a little longer than I expected, but you know what? That's just me being me. So thank you so much, Josh. Excellent question. And don't forget to everyone else to check out Josh's Facebook link right below. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Your continued support is awesome, and keep those questions coming over at davidfracco.com/ask. I'll see you next time.